When my bank manager called me that, oh, you have this cash, we have to invest it, and return on investment 1.5, 2%. And I sold company at 8x multiplier. I was like, dude, it's like lower than inflation. You know how the crypto narrative works, right? It was always a guy who put $100 to a token over the night, he became a millionaire, now drives a Ferrari. I never saw that guy. When it was another bull run, there were so many guys with a mask, people with MFTs, launching projects, and eventually we couldn't find who they are.
Vugar is an entrepreneur with roots in Azerbaijan and speaks 5 languages. He holds advanced degrees from Harvard and Oxford University. After leading marketing at giants like Facebook and Sony, Vugar transitioned to crypto. He is currently the COO of Bitget.
Bitget 2 years ago was partnering with Lionel Messi. He goes, wins the World Cup, he takes that cup in his hand. All world talks about Messi, and they were like, wow, Messi works with Bitget, right? 2 years ago, when I first was appointed as the COO, Bitget had around 12 million users. Today we have 100 million users.
Hello and welcome to Build It Up, where AI meets crypto, technology meets humanity, and East meets West. I'm Bill Chen, the co-founder of Cypher Capital. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. My guest today is Vugar Usi Zade, a seasoned business and communication expert with 15 years of experience across Fortune 500 company and startups. He's currently the COO at Bitget and has been a key player in the Web3 and blockchain space. He's also hosting a very popular crypto podcast, Uzi The Talk. Hey Vugar, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's an exciting day in Dubai.
Awesome. Yeah, I love your suit.
I'm trying to be on brand all the time, like a Bitget blue.
Awesome. Yeah, I think most of the audience will be very interested in your background. You mentioned to me you are Azerbaijanese, and where did you grow up, and how did you get into the crypto along the journey?
Wow, it's a very big story. I always say, like, I'm very proud to be Azerbaijani because you rarely meet someone from Azerbaijan. It's a small, tiny nation in between East and West, as your podcast, of 10 million people overall. But it's a very beautiful country for people who never visited to go visit. Luckily for myself, because I grew up in a very international family, and because of my parents' job, we traveled a lot. I grew up in Geneva, in US, and in Russia, which luckily gave me great education, a passion for travel, and a lot of love to explore new things.
So how many languages?
I speak 5 languages.
5?
Yes, unfortunately, I don't speak Mandarin or Spanish. I wish I could speak, then I could almost talk to everyone in the world. But I still can, so converse in Russian. I do a lot of like a Russian-related events in Russian language. It's very nice. Same goes for Turkish. I think it gives me a good exposure in the developing world where we are also interested.
Yeah.
And when it comes to crypto, I think I always say, like, usually people come to crypto to make money, but I already made my money in Web2, and I came to crypto not to lose money.
Yeah, to store the value. Yeah, but share us a story, like how you make your fortune in Web2. I know you start your career as a marketing expert in Fortune 500.
Yes, I started in different Fortune, like I started at Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world.
Yes.
A beer company. And then I eventually worked for Sony, where I got a chance to work in a scale up. And when you are, I don't know, I was like 20 years old and I never understood how shares worked. I was just passionate about marketing, and I got some shares and I never even touched them. I never wanted to sell them. It was just like kind of a good perk. I never thought even it will ever vest and I can do something with it.
So you were a diamond hand when you collect the employee share incentive from all the previous employers.
Exactly, but without actually knowing it. Like it was like more of a hodl strategy rather than understanding what to do. And at some point, I was working in an internal scale-up, but the company became big internally, and eventually we got a chance to buy back some portion of this company.
What was that for, that internal scale up?
It was sort of like a media wholesaler. Basically, our strategy was to go in developing countries, whether it is Azerbaijan or Cambodia, is it Latvia or Argentina, set up an office and service large media providers like Facebook, Twitter, Quora, or any other big player that who ideally wouldn't have an interest to come and serve the customer in that particular region, but would definitely be interested in partners, someone like us who can wholesale and make more money to them. We can think of it as and franchise model for a media.
For media. Okay.
And this was a very interesting model that we could go to the places where normally businesses wouldn't want to go, as small, medium economies, but still bring a great input to that market. Today, the company is still working with my brilliant ex-colleagues. They're valued at 10 billion, I believe.
Wow. Basically, that one become your first entrepreneurial exit.
Exactly. And I exited when the company was valued at 2.7 billion. We got around 460 million capital. And when you are 20 something and you get some big numbers in your bank account, I wanted to see the all this hard work to turn actual into the physical cash. But that wasn't a smart idea, unfortunately. Because then I had so much problems with the bank, and I had to bring boxes and boxes of documents first to prove that this is actually my money and I made it. And then every time I wanted to purchase an apartment, a car, send some money to my parents to Turkey, a lot of commission, a lot of hard work, a lot of proving all the banks that this is actually my money. I didn't steal it. I didn't launder it. It's like truly mine.
Yeah.
And then I was very angry with the bank.
When was that?
That was around 2018 here in Dubai. And Dubai is much more open than any other bank in UK or Turkey or in Azerbaijan. But still, when my bank manager called me that, oh, you have this cash, we have to invest it, investment strategy and return on investment, 1.52%, it was that time. And I sold company at 8x multiplier. I was like, dude, what is 4%?
Yeah.
This is lower. I don't know what is 2%. It's lower than inflation.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
Zero. That day, I was like, okay, no, I need to do something. And that was my move, kind of debanking myself, trying to accumulate more Bitcoin, investing into ventures. It was 2018. It was this crazy ICO times. Everyone was issuing. Yeah, I definitely lost also a lot of money.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, but I think it was a great decision to invest in Bitcoin because eventually I could make more money just by buying and waiting rather than going and investing through my bank.
Yeah. And I guess, that is how you get into the crypto because you want to store of your fortune, right? And this become one of the investment option for you.
Yeah, that's what I was always tell people because you know how the crypto narrative works, right? It was always a guy who put $100 to a token over the night. He became millionaire, now drives a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I never saw that guy. I always heard a story about these people. I never saw.
Somebody else.
That's somebody else. But for, I think 99% of people like us who probably go to university, do a corporate job, sometimes get an opportunity to build a venture or become an executive, get a share. In my opinion, for a commoners or 90% of us, crypto should be a way of storing value.
Yeah.
Trying to beat the economy, trying to beat S&P 500, trying to beat real estate.
Yeah.
And when you take a portions, let's say today we decide to buy Bitcoin at a price point of 80, 90K, I believe in 2 years, 3 years, you will see at least 250K.
Yeah.
Which will be 2 to 3x.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. I mean, in the whole traditional finance, everyone wants to beat the S&P 500, which, in past 100 years is around 9.9%, which means as long as you can become a long-term, 10% beyond compounder, you're the awesome. But sounds like, in our industry, most of the people, they want to get 2x, 5x in 3 months. And in the end, most of the people, they lose the principle, right? So I think you just raised a great point, BTC, etc. In the end, it's a very good and excellent asset to, beat the S&P 500 at least.
Definitely. That's I always think. Because especially if you are coming from a developing economy, let's say Turkey, Azerbaijan, the biggest investment or biggest dream for everyone is to buy an apartment or to buy a property, right?
Yeah.
Real estate.
I think that one not only for the emerging market, I guess, for all the global, labor or middle class, upper middle class, real estate is the largest asset class.
Exactly. And in my opinion, the biggest value real estate brings is to pass wealth from generation to generation, right? Because no one buys an apartment to sell it in 2 months, in 2 years.
Yeah.
You always buy a property with the vision that you're going to live here and you're going to pass it to your kids, to your next generation. And in my opinion, when we combine these two economic phenomena, S&P 500 and long-term investing in real estate, and then Bitcoin can beat both of them, right? In a short term, it can definitely beat S&P 500. And if you can hold it as long as the property, imagine buying Bitcoin 10 years ago or buying today and keeping it for next 10 years, you can definitely beat real estate market. And you can beat real estate market even compared to the large cities like London, Hong Kong, Dubai, or Istanbul altogether. And I think it's very important for like people who listen to us or who want to come to crypto that yes, it's very exciting, all these candles going and it's very green, you can make 10x, 100x. But in my opinion, crypto or people who come to the crypto, first step should be how to store value. How to make a meaningful investment for next 5 years, for next 10 years. And as you mentioned, like multiply it rather than focusing on quick money now, meme tokens, I don't know, let's do 100x.
Well, very, very interesting. I think you're like a CZ, who are leading an exchange, but also, on the other side, convince and, advocate about the diamond hand in the meantime.
Because in my opinion, yes, as an exchange, we make money in every transaction.
By trading,
We want more people come and trade. But also, we are not here for a shorter period of time, right? We are not here to tell everyone, bring your money, trade it, trade it, trade it. We take commission and we go. In my opinion, we need more and more people to come to the industry. And if you look at the statistics, what happens the most of the time, when the market is at its peak, people get to know about Bitcoin reaching 100K or Trump issuing a token. Everyone comes and buys, and they buy at the top of the market. And markets start dropping, and they panic sell, they leave, they never come back.
Buy high and sell low.
And we lose these people because if they could come in the right opportunity, do the right strategy, yes, in a short term, we might not make a lot of money out of these transactions, but in the longer run, these people will have enough assets to feel safe, enough assets to play around. And let's say if you dollar cost averaged, I don't know, for a year, you accumulated enough Bitcoins and price went up. Now you kind of, your dollar principal is safe and you can go play with extras you already made in the market. You can put that profits to the altcoins, meme coins, and do in my opinion, like smart investment decision in the longer run, rather than bringing all your money today and putting it in a very dangerous asset, losing it, and never coming back.
Makes sense. Given that you are the prominent leader in Bitget, I wonder, one side you want to educate the market, to focus on the long term. On the other side, from Bitget perspective, what would be a one sentence pitch to a user as compared to using other exchange?
There are three important key points that made me fall in love with Bitget, not as a leader who is developing, building the product, but actually a user that I use it every day. Number one is the product itself. Bitget is the easiest platform in my opinion because I love our colleagues from Binance, OKX, all the big exchanges, right? They have this pro product and light product. It is very hard to navigate. They kind of segregate people. At Bitget, we believe that everyone can become a pro trader. And we build the tools to make you trade smartly. You can copy trade, you can use AI to trade, you can get more tools to trade in a simpler version rather than telling that, no, you just came, you have to go use light version. This is the pro version for the professionals.
So you have an all-in-one solution first.
All-in-one solution and easy to use solution. And I always say that the best case will be we have a one-click entry to crypto. Until we build that product, we have to keep developing and keep developing. If we want to onboard next billion users, it should be one-click solution. But until that one-click solution, this is the simplest you can get. Second key point, yes, I talked about the importance of investing, holding long-term Bitcoin, Ethereum, these big players. But what I love that Bitget brings a lot of gems, a lot of projects that we list. They go up, they pick the attention of Binance's and other big players, and they get listed weeks after. It means Bitget is a place where you can discover that token first.
Early stage discovery.
Very, very early stage discovery. And for our industry, it's very important, especially if you want to make a good money.
Yes.
And of course, third key point, I think safety and security, especially what happened to our colleagues at Bybit. I think what makes Bitget unique that since our founding in 2018, we never had any security breach. We never had any hack. I hope it never happens. And I always say it didn't happen not because we were lucky. It was we have a great security measures in place, and we take a huge responsibility on what we do, and that's why we never had a security breach. And of course, our second largest in industry protection fund. If something goes wrong, we have enough money to recover, but we want to make sure nothing goes wrong in the first place.
Yeah, you have been through catch-up stage of Bitget from maybe fourth or third largest, and now become one of the leader. What kind of decision you think was most important to make such a achievement in past 24 months?
2 years ago, when I first was appointed as a CEO, Bitget had around 12 million users. Today we have 100 million users. It is almost 8x growth.
8x.
We've been around top 20 exchanges. Today we are top second by the user numbers. We are top third by the trading volume. And I think the key point achieving this was our focus on hiring the best talent. Today we have more than 1,800 employees across 60 countries. We realized that we can't bring talent to us. We have to go to the talent. Second thing what we did was giving independence to people. We hired smart people. We didn't tell them what to do. We told, okay, you are a smart person. Let's say you run a country operations in Argentina or a Turkey. We don't want to tell you what to do. You come tell us what needs to be done to win in that market. And we became this goal-oriented, user-first company focusing on users and what we can build for the user in that particular country, in that particular niche, in that particular focus group to make sure that we become the best product in the market. And when you're the best product, then the competition is over. I always say the greatest competition between exchanges is a zero fee, right? When you have a zero fee transaction, now you can't compete making it cheaper because zero is there is no cheaper than zero.
Yeah.
Then you have to build a good product. And if you have a zero fee transaction and still your product is bad, no one's going to use it. And I think today we became in this industry, in this zero fee competition, so many transactions. Like, for example, we offer a lot of BNB transactions in zero fee, a lot of ton transactions in zero fee. At this point, you can only compete by building a great product, and I think that was we were able to do, to build a robust, great product that people really love to use.
Yeah, I heard of most of the Asian exchange are very aggressive, but my feeling is the Bitget is another level. It's even more aggressive and hardworking. How do you find the culture?
It's a very good question, especially when you ask me, because I always go around and tell that I am the first kind of a non-Asian native C-level.
In the C-level.
Usually you don't see. And it's a very hard for someone who doesn't come from such a rigorous culture to be awake all the time.
So you have to be awake all the time.
I have to be awake and pay attention all the time. And there's a very funny story. Because we have a great initiative. We want to educate more and more young people. We pledged to spend $10 million in the next 5 years for blockchain for use. And my favorite project that I'm actually handling myself is called Build Bitget with Vugar, where we bring apprentices across the world. They do small tasks, and the successful ones, we bring them every quarter to Dubai to work in our office.
Oh, okay.
With me together, we go to conferences.
College student?
College students, recent graduates, anyone who wants to start in crypto, there's no limit. When this idea came to my mind, I was at an airport. I was flying from Istanbul to London. It's a 4-hour flight. I had a meeting with my team. I'm like, this is a great idea. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got on a plane. There wasn't internet, unfortunately. I land and my phone is buzzing, and I open the first message. It is a link to a news announcing this program. I call back my team and I'm like, guys, they were like, yeah, but like you didn't reply in 4 hours. We decided
So
to
you just proceed.
They proceed like the full-on program. And I'm like, this is the speed. Like, this is the speed you can only become competitive, because we are not the oldest, right? We are one of the youngest. We've been around only 7 years. There was Gate.io, there was Binance. There were so many players before us already in the market. We also we're not with the most money, unfortunately. We didn't had as big investment as we can name it OKX and Bybit to, I don't know, to go and sponsor Formula One and fly people across the world. Therefore, we had to play in a very narrow niche where we are not a legacy brand. We're a new brand. We don't have enough money. What we have to do, we have to just work hard. And that's how I think the entire success of Bitget was about people who believe in a vision
Yeah.
and who just worked hard non-stop, and we do it today.
Yeah.
Without that, we could never succeed. And I think that was one key core point everyone in the team understands, that we have to work hard. There's no excuse. You can't just
Wow.
do it. You
Yeah,
have to work hard.
that's very relentless.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right?
Yes.
Because when you wake up and you see progress, not in like you see progress in numbers like millions, right? One day you are, I don't know, serving 60 million customers. The next month you serve 100 million customers. You move $20 billion. It's like it's a big economy. It's a big impact. And I always say it's a huge impact that we do in people's life. It's about people who never had a bank account. Now they can come and actually work, get paid in crypto, spend in crypto, live on chain, and get so many opportunities that usually like it wouldn't happen if there is no crypto and if there's no Bitget.
Yeah. You mentioned, the use case of the crypto is getting more diversified and more people using crypto. Do you think, especially, in the international market, emerging market, most of them get into the crypto by trading, or from your observation, people get into crypto because the convenience as a fintech innovation? What is your observation?
Honestly, until last 2 years, I always thought that we need to build a great DeFi protocols. We need to bring a lot of trading tools. People need to trade. But today I am completely in opposite side. Today I think we need to build more tools for people to spend crypto, not earn crypto. And why I'm saying this, for example, when I travel to Latin America, Venezuela, Argentina, when I come to Turkey, when I go to Central Asia, most people who use crypto, they use because not because they like crypto, because they were forced to use crypto.
They were forced
Because currencies, peso losing value, right? Turkish lira, Turkey has a 90% inflation rate. And these people have to go and use stable coins, have a wallet, or in Central Asia, people can't go to bank to buy dollars.
because the foreign currency account is restricted.
It's very restricted. And there's a monthly limit. Like I know in some Central Asian countries, you can only buy $300 a month
Okay.
from the bank.
Wow.
What you do, you do in crypto. Or there are so many countries like in Southeast Asia, right? Philippines, where they have a lot of foreign workers who send money to their home country. Western Union was charging them 5 to 10%. Crypto charges them zero fee.
Yeah.
20 cents in BNB, $1 in TRC. That is nothing. All these life instruments or life situations force people to come and adopt crypto. And today, in my opinion, we need to build a better system for these people to spend on crypto. For these people to be able that we don't use crypto as a cross-border transaction. We don't use crypto just to kind of transfer the value. But if I am, I don't know, in Turkey, I have my USDT, I should be able to go tap the way I tap my MasterCard and spend my money. In Philippines, the same. In Latin America, the same. And therefore, I believe in next 3 years, we need to build more tools to help people live on chain, kind of a door to door from earning to spending on chain without need to go through a bank, without need to go pay paper money. And that could bring us adoption.
You just mentioned several use case. Store value, like people tend to own the US dollar stablecoin as compared to their own fiat. Second one would be the cross-border remittance. The third one would be, the most important and exciting one would be the daily expenditure, daily consumption. How do you see the trend? Do you see now, the industry is in the stage 3, the most important thing would be the daily expenditure, or even the store value and the remittance is still in the early stage? What do you see the stage?
I think all these three kind of live parallel to each other.
Okay.
Because once you have a remittance, you have a need to spend it.
Yeah, the receiver, right?
The receiver. Once you store a value, even if you store the principal, at some point you will need to kind of cash something out to buy and to spend. Therefore, I think currently one thing people mainly hesitant about crypto is that at some point they have to make it paper money, take to the bank. Bank will ask them where you got this money.
Yeah.
And it will become a cycle of unpleasant issues.
Yes.
But if the person was very confident that I get my money in crypto, I put portion to Bitcoin, Ethereum, long-term value store. Some I send to my loved ones who can spend, and some I spend without actually need to go deal with bank, deal with OTC, change that cash with someone. The life will be a much better place. And that was one of the key goals that we are investing in Bitget Pay and trying to build that solution where people can actually pay without leaving our ecosystem, without need to go to another third party to cash it out.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that one needs a lot of a sophisticated marketing solution as well, from branding to performance, etc.
It is, but also it is so easy to use that once you do
So
get
products speak by themselves.
products speak by themselves. Like my favorite tool is our Bitget card. It is the instead of inventing a wheel, we built that system based on a Visa card, right? It's as Visa card, but instead of US dollars, you have USDT denomination. You just tap and pay your crypto without a need. And I'm addicted. I live on chain. I get paid in crypto. I spend everything on crypto without a need to actually touch a paper money.
Yeah.
And that makes me one step closer to ideal world where crypto is a money.
Yes, yeah.
And it is not only an investment tool. It's not a tool for trading. It is a money. You can buy, you can sell. And one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, one BGB is one BGB, one USDT is one USDT. You don't have to think in dollars. And I think once we move away from this thinking in dollars or thinking in paper money, it will be a true adoption. And we are not there yet.
Fantastic. Let's pivot the gear a little bit, talk about your expertise, marketing. I understand, marketing has been a viral stage. In the very beginning, there are so many people put most of the budget in the branding marketing and then come across Web 1 and Web 2, and we spend more budget into the performance marketing. And now it sounds like, a lot of people, especially in the crypto, they do content marketing. They become their own, sort of a promoter. Would you see the trend, and how would you suggest a young generation who begin to do the marketing for themselves or do the marketing for their, protocol or product?
There's no one answer, right? I think you need all of them, but you need to use all of them smartly. Because as a user myself, I never go see an ad and click and buy. And I'm sure you don't do either. You want to read about it. You want to know about it. You want to hear from a friend about it. And then you make that decision. And in that decision-making cycle, whether you want to buy, I don't know, a chocolate, or whether you want to go invest in Tesla stocks, or whether you want to come to crypto and invest in Bitget, you need to build that confidence. Personal brand is important because we need to know who is behind and who is responsible. And 2-3 years ago, I remember when it was another bull run, there were so many guys with a mask, people with avatars, people with NFTs launching projects, and eventually we couldn't find who they are. Today, it's very important to put a face on your brand because when you put a face on your brand, you can't run away. Today, my biggest motivation to build a great product like Bitget, because I know if something doesn't work, people gonna go to Twitter, people will telegram me, people will come to my Instagram and tell to me that your product sucks. And I can't do that. Therefore, I need to make sure my product works. Therefore, personal brand is very important, not only to sell to people, but also to hear from people what they want. And I want to understand my users to come and telling me, oh, you have to add this feature. Oh, this feature isn't good, do that. And it's very important, kind of a two-way communication. You can't do it on your brand account. People rarely come to Bitget's Facebook and tell it to Bitget's Facebook, but they come to me, they go to Gracie, they go to all the leaders and they tell, because you need a human-to-human connection. When it comes to building that human connection, content is important, and the genuine content is important. Not that, oh, I'm everyday beautiful, I wake up, At 5, I go to gym and all this like a standard lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of course I do, but I'm human. I can be tired. I can, my flight gets delayed. I think it is very important to show people that there's also struggle behind the leadership.
Imperfect. Authenticity.
Authenticity. The content should be also authentic. When it comes to performance, it is very important, but without a good content and without good narrative and without a genuine human to human connection, I don't believe there will be a good performance. I don't think you can just pay to buy clicks or pay to buy downloads, because it doesn't end there, right? You want people to not only have your product but actually use your product, and you want your product to grow together with your users. Bitget 2 years ago is a very different product than today, because not only product became good, but also people became more educated. People became looking for more features. They want to trade with AI. They want to, I don't know, have 1, 2, 3, 4. Or Bitget wallet. 3 years ago, when we invested in the middle of the bear market, people were like, oh, you're crazy. You put like $30 million to a wallet. Today, Bitget wallet has 60 million users, most downloaded. It's a great product. It had so many features that no other wallet, no Trust wallet, no MetaMask has. It is somewhere hybrid between exchange and a wallet, where you see a chart, you see what's happening in the market, you can do swap, you can pay for your gas fee in many different ways. And all these products could be only built because we listened to people, we got the feedback, and we built product for the people. And when we talk about marketing of being a brand, being a content, and being a performance, it all should happen parallel. And I think, for example, the biggest bet we did at Bitget 2 years ago was partnering with Lionel Messi, right? The brand we built together with that name, right before the World Cup, he goes, wins the World Cup, he takes that cup in his hand, all world talks about Messi, and they were like, wow, Messi works with Bitget, right? It means Bitget is a legit brand. He wouldn't scam us. They wouldn't go away. They have enough reputation. Let's go use Bitget instead of any other player.
Yeah.
Of course, I love my friends from Binance. They eventually went and signed with Cristiano Ronaldo. And everywhere I went, people were asking who's a great player, Messi or Ronaldo. It's a very good question to answer. But that is the power of a brand. When you partner with a brand, then when you build a genuine content and put your face on that content, and only after that, the performance will start performing. Because today, when someone sees Bitget with Messi and they were like, oh, also Vugar tweeted this, oh, Gracie went to that event, let me, I don't know, go to search engine, type Bitget, download the app and start testing. And that is, in my opinion, is a life cycle, especially new startup misses.
Yeah.
Startups want to go to performance marketing, pay, get download, because it's a end of the day numbers game, but they miss building a brand. And if you don't have a brand, there's no connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Messi one definitely should be, one of the best initiative in the crypto marketing domain.
It is, and it's a very fascinating story, because when we wanted to work with Messi, we didn't have enough money. And my team, what they did, they put a list of 10 things why Bitget is better than anyone else.
Oh, really?
Because our protection fund, because our transparency and proof of reserves. And they sent it to Messi's family, who manages him. We told, okay, we don't have enough money, but we are a place that you will not have a problem. You will always be proud to work with us. And he eventually signed up with us, while our competitors were offering them 50% more money.
Wow.
But he chose to come and work with Bitget because a value we brought to his brand. And our point was that we want to partner, we want to benefit from your fame, but also we will not harm your fame.
Yeah.
While if you go work with someone else, you could definitely have a problems in future.
Yeah.
And that was a very smart move, and I'm very proud of my team. And I think that was the best investment so far in our marketing and brand building.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you also have a very strong team, to work along with you, and I guess you are a great coach. So my last question would be, what would be your advice to the young generation who want to start their career, not only in crypto, but just in general?
What my mentors taught me when I was young is to always stay curious and stay learning. Because especially when you are young with energy, you come to an industry anywhere and you think that you are the smartest man in the room and you know the better, you know the best, you want to change everything. In my opinion, you can't change the game if you don't know all the rules. And it is very important first to learn from the master. And then once you master the whatever practice you are practicing, whether you are a lawyer or a marketeer, only after that you are able to actually bring something new. And never try to fast track things. Unfortunately, I'm young myself, but like most new people who start their careers, I see that due to probably the social media, and we see people driving better cars, living in luxury.
Lamborghini, the most signature buzzword in Dubai.
Yes, everyone wants a Lamborghini, but everyone wants Lamborghini the day one.
Yes.
But for me, things taste good when you actually earn them. And for me, you need to work hard to earn and understand the value. If today you are given a Lamborghini, it isn't as good as the Lamborghini you can actually earn yourself. And this is a very big learning curve. I think every young person should understand that if you are entering a job market, you have to always stay curious, learn, and if you are the best what you do, the money will follow. But if you follow the money, that will be a very hard journey for you, because I've seen so many even entrepreneurs who are building a venture. Today they built a metaverse, tomorrow it was Web3, then they now building something AI, tomorrow something new will come, they will jump
They
there.
chase the narrative.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be that you believe in something, you did that thing great, and then money, narrative, sponsors, investors, everyone will follow you.
Yeah, I think, that's a great point. I think Bruce Lee also have a similar quotes. He always recommend, people have to empty your cup. In that case, you can, refill the new water.
Definitely. I think that's very, very good. I didn't know this quote, but yeah, it's very important.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Vugar. Yeah, that's very insightful sharing, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and it's a very beautiful place to be, and thanks for this conversation. It was a very good reflection moment for myself.
Thank you. Well, that's all for today on Build It Up. We will be back next week with another inspiring guest. Subscribe now so you will never miss our amazing interviews. Until next time, this is Bill Chen. Goodbye and take care.